What is up, guys? It is Cussan and welcome to today's video. If you haven't already, please sub, give this video a thumbs up, and comment what's your favorite game of the Pokemon series. Now today we have an interesting topic. We are talking about the most influential span of Pokemon games, so please stay tuned. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. Now I thought about this topic a lot. I was like, what was the defining moment for the Pokemon series? And I pinpointed a span of generations, Gens 3 through 5. Now, why? Why was that so influential for the Pokemon series? Well, in my mind, it's when it got most popular. That's when it got really, really big. Now, don't get me wrong, Pokemon was still big before that, but to me, that's where it set its foot as dominant, not even for just the present at that time, but for the future. You had Emerald and the Gen 1 remakes come out in Gen 3. Now those games themselves weren't to me they weren't exactly what I have in mind for setting a staple for the series, but I think it set it up for 4 and 5. You had the new Game Boy come out. I believe it was the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I think so. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But you had that come out. So then you had the Gen 1 remakes, and you had Ruby and Emerald and Sapphire come out, and those games were pretty cool. They were the first time that we got to see this update in graphics for Pokemon, and I believe especially the Gen 1 remakes set a lot of future fans for Pokemon, because you had this new group of kids coming in who hadn't played the originals, but now they have these new Game Boys, and they got to come back to Gen 1 and start everything back up again. So I believe that really helped set things up for future Pokemon fans coming into the DS era. And not only that, Emerald was just a great, amazing game. Emerald is one of my favorite games, and that kept a lot of the old school fans into the series because it showed vast improvement. So it did two things. Gen 3 did two things. It kept the old guys in, and it brought new guys up, which sets up for Gen 4, which is, in my opinion, the best generation. Alright, you had the Sinnoh games, you had Diamond, you had Pearl, and then you had Platinum. And then not only that, you know what you have coming after that? You have Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Those Gen 2 remakes were some of my favorite games, and I think, actually, I will say this, they are my favorite remakes as of right now. And I believe a lot of people would agree. Those games were awesome. They made me fall in love with Johto. They did. And I played Crystal and the original Gen 2 games after I had experienced the remakes. So, my experience was different probably than people that came in, playing the originals and then playing the remakes, but those remakes were fantastic. Okay, they were something else, and Gen 4 was just a staple. You had the DS, and everybody and their mama had a DS. I mean, you could play the old Game Boy games on them too. I mean, the DS was with everybody, and because you had this new revolutionary console, or handheld console, you had even more of an audience. You just had brought some up from the last generation, and you just kept the longtime fans in. You kept them interested. So, I mean, Gen 4 and Gen 3, they're hits. You know what I'm saying? They complement each other so well. And then you had Gen 5, which is just, oh my god. It was like a perfect close to this span. yeah, I mean, you had the sequels. You had a game with actual sequels and probably the best story out of any of the Pokemon games. I mean, wow. Way to hit it in all different ways, and this is why these three generations are such a staple, and why I think they were so influential, because they made lifelong fans. They made lifelong fans. They kept the old ones, and they brought in new lifelong fans. It was, whew, oh man, it just gives me such nostalgia thinking about those games. Gen 6 is where we see a problem. Now, nothing particularly like terrible about the X and Y games. It's mostly the new platform that they did it on. So you had to buy a 3DS or 2DS to actually play those games. And for kids that were already like, I want to say around like, anywhere from like 12 to like 17 or anything like that. Yeah, probably that age group. You think they're really gonna go out and buy a new 3DS just to play one game? I mean, some might have, but at that time you don't have a lot of money to yourselves. That's really on your parents. So it stunted some growth. If they would have just kept it where it would have been on DS and 3DS, then I would have seen probably some better reception of those games, in my personal opinion, and like in my personal reception of it. But that was a big barrier. The console barrier was a big barrier from Gen 5 to Gen 6. So yeah, I mean, the 3DS wasn't really what it was all cracked out to be. Honestly, I didn't even like the 3DS. I barely used the 3D features, if I'm being honest. The 2DS XL or whatever, one of the newest ones that was out is pretty good, but that's what they should have had at first. I mean, the original 2DS design was trash. I didn't like it, but I did have the original 2DS, but only a couple years after it came out. So that's what I mean. But you had those three generations that just really set everything in place, man. And I'm a lifelong Pokemon fan because of that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people my age or even older or maybe a little bit younger would say the exact same thing. I mean, the Switch is an amazing console, and there's a plethora of games to play on the Switch, so people buy the Switch for more than just Pokemon. But I think the Switch did kind of maybe revitalize some Pokemon hope, and if they smash it out of the park with the Sinnoh remakes and like Legends of Arceus and whatever games come out next on the Switch, I think that they can sustain being on top. I mean, let's be realistic. Pokemon will always be popular. I mean, it's hard for a series like this to die. It'll probably go down in the Hall of Fame of video game series. And not only that, they have the anime. I mean, it's just everywhere in popular culture. There's a lot more to it than just what you see on the consoles, because you even have mobile games. Like, you have apps, and then you have all the plushies, you have all these toys, you have Pokemon cards. Pokemon will never die, but there are times where Pokemon is more popular than others, especially in the video game series. So that's really all I wanted to touch on. It was an interesting topic that I wanted to talk about, so there's no script, there's no nothing, it's just me rambling. But I really just wanted to gauge thoughts and stuff like that in the comment section. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being awesome, okay? And I hope you guys have a freaking fantastic day. I will see you guys next time.